Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 104, House Sitting Horrors. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and delicious Dungeon Master, Michael Corley. I'm not going to comment on that. With me tonight is James. James, tell everyone who you will be playing.
How do you know you're delicious?
Look, the internet said so.
Shake it till it's gone. Shake it till it's gone. Hi, I'm James. I am playing Pentajealous, Spellscale Sorcerer, who is a little creeped out right now.
And less creeped out, but strangely intrigued, is Lee. Lee, tell everyone who you will be playing.
G'day everybody, my name is Lee and I am playing a Kenku Rogue who is currently a little perturbed by all this magic and strange houses with legs.
Yes, it was like, I'm not so sure about this little house with legs. How about a giant house with legs?
No!
How about that?
What's
Imagine the hut nuts on that one.
What's the fantasy realm equivalent of Nope.gif?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's a Cthulhu walking across the ocean floor. Nope. And also noping out with us today is Izzy. Izzy, tell everyone who you are playing.
Hello everyone, I'm Izzy. I'm playing Marezi Mugra, half-orc barbarian who probably has eaten human meat before.
Yes. It's so funny you say that. I was re-listening to that episode where it was established in canon at the medieval Chick-fil-A. Was it Lay Chicken? No.
Yee Chicken!
Yee Chicken, yes. Duke, who is so communicative with us, actually made sure to tweet at me to say how much he enjoyed that particular line. So, good job on that. And also having to deal with racism in the racist medieval Chick-fil-A was Riley. Riley, tell everyone who you will be playing.
Hello, I'm Riley, and I'm playing Athora Greyfield, a tiefling fighter.
Yes, who did some awesome off the rails, literally fighting last time against Umber Hulk. Is that what y'all thought?
Umber Hulk.
Good lord, I only wrote the adventure, so why would I remember? With a much better memory than me is Dare. Dare, tell everyone who you are playing.
Hello, everyone. I'm playing Tix Birchmanson, everybody's favorite larger-than-life gnome cleric.
And if I had to assign one MVP from that episode, it would definitely have been Tix, who was doing a combination of diplomacy and intimidation. It was absolutely fantastic. When we last left our players, they were chasing after Dinwolf, the somewhat absent-minded father of Marezi, who had wandered off in the woods, been found in a hut eating scones with none other than the fey-like, nearly godlike creature known only as Baba Yaga, who, instead of murdering you all, offered to help you in exchange for you house-sitting her house. By the way, this is apropos of nothing, Baba Yaga will often set powerful guardians, like incredibly powerful guardians, to guard her hut when she leaves. So it is actually a strange way, a compliment, that she has chosen all of you because of your unique relationship with Audrey to watch her hut. But while doing so, the hut got up and started running around and was immediately nearly capsized by an Umber Hulk tunneling underground, apparently controlled by a mysterious woman in dragon scale armor. You were able to subdue this woman through a combination of some badass lightning bolts from Fenton.
Yeah.
With both Marezi and Riley and Tix laying low the Umber Hulk. And finally, the mysterious Kenku sneaking up on her and putting a knife to her throat, at which point she told you that if you don't let her go and let her have her way, that the house will be destroyed. And that's where we pick up. The closest person is Lee's character, the Kenku. Is there anything you would like to say to her?
There's nothing I can say. I mean...
Literally.
Yeah. He'll make the quizzical sound of someone. Huh? Think Tim Allen's.
The very, very popular theater troupe in this world. And is anyone else approaching this woman at this time? By the way, there is a sort of a big jagged hole in front, but it is of course easily circumventable that the Umber Hulk was creating specifically for the house to fall into.
Right.
Oh, if this is the case, I might sort of with what's that part of the body called? Knee. That's it. I hope this is one of those days. With his knee, he'll kind of, dagger still pressed to her throat, kind of urge her towards the house and the rest of the group.
Okay.
There you go.
Just to make things a little easier.
Yeah. Give me a quick spot check, if you will.
Okay. I have my sheet open. Okay. My spot's pretty high. No, it's not. That's alright. I rolled a 19, so it's a 21.
21? Okay, still rolled really well. Just wanted to let you know what you see at the scene. Y'all could see this from the distance, but you see this very clearly. There is a dead dire bear, and you've seen things in your travels. It does appear that it has been sacrificed, like ritually sacrificed. There is just the arrangement of it. You don't like magic particularly, but you certainly have that feeling. There is also with that high spot check, there is a piece of very fine, very expensive parchment that is completely blank. Just a little FYI there, as you lead her back. Penton, you were kind of the closest in the front because you were directing your lightning bolts at her.
Right.
And the rest of y'all are kind of picking yourselves up from the battle with the Umber Hulk that y'all were successful in. And let me know what y'all would like to do. The house is, just so you know, Penton is kind of a little restless. It's kind of like scratching the ground. You've recognized this from Audrey, but it's not like running at the moment.
Right.
Seems a
But
little
it's itching to
confused.
go. Itching to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of give the railing a calming little pat and kind of like mentally do the same. And then I'll just hop down to the ground where the Kenku is bringing up this person and wait for them to approach.
Okay. They come up. She does not try to escape. She is very. You can tell she is very much on the ready. She is ready for anything. She did have a sword that was laying down, like she had it at the ready, but like she wanted to have her hands free. She was casting spells earlier, and she is wearing armor, so you're not quite sure what all of that is. It does not make it impossible to cast some spells with armor.
Right.
Once we get to the group, the Kenku will kick at the back of her knees to make her sink so that she's on her knees.
Okay.
And sort of indicate to her hands and feet and pull out a length of rope and toss it to the middle so that everyone gets the idea of what's going on here.
Okay.
I still have a dagger to the throat here, so
Not today, rope. Not today.
special occasions for that rope.
Marezi ties her up, and I'd like to roll intimidation to try and get her to tell me what she's doing here.
While
That's a 2. So Marezi just kind of goes, "So what's up?"
I'll try some diplomacy since I'm right there as well, and maybe try and play off of her work, kind of build from there. Or play off of Morezi's work, and ask her, okay, so who are you again, and why are you trying to kill the house?
I am not trying.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just rolled a diplomacy just off the cuff, and it was a 20. So, so actually, a 33 is what the total is on that.
So there is a moment where you do see her like slightly dazzled by your light, like almost
Oh, that was
hypnotized.
without the light. There was no
Oh,
light
wow.
involved in that one.
So this is just the light
This is just me.
of yourself. Yeah, this is just your pretty man self and your earnestness and the fact that you cooked her in her own armor a few seconds ago.
Right.
All of those things. With a 20, she does soften a little bit. She has a very hard face. She's a human. She has a scarred face, but she's not ugly. Just like, she's seen
Battle-worn.
stuff. Battle-worn, yeah. This is not a fresh chicken. She's probably like in her early 50s, you would think.
Okay.
So she's seen things, and she says, "My name is Neo Manu. I am an adventurer, I suppose you would say, and I have had many adventures in the north. Many strange and wondrous things have happened to me, and I am trying to retrieve something of great value from the dancing hut." And she glares at the hut with just the most abject hate.
I glance over at the hut and then glance back to her and it's like, the house is really cool, but I don't think it has the ability to steal things. Does it, it doesn't have hands. What exactly does it have?
It has a door. You clearly
It has
do
a couple
not
doors.
Understand. And she you could tell she wants to say something really mad, like that you cut her off. She's not used to being cut off, but she also you rolled a 20 and there's a kinku with a knife to her throat.
Yeah.
You really do not know the power of this hut, do you? She wouldn't say hut, of this house, do you?
I've got an inkling.
This is the dancing hut. This hut can stride through dimensions. It can walk through planes, and it can. It is even larger on the inside, if you can conceive of such a thing.
I can.
At that moment, Audrey 3 comes trotting up behind, like doo 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 doo.
Oh,
Finally
hey,
catches up.
Audrey. This is our house.
There's a little like double take as she looks at like, oh god, there's two of them.
The kenku,
Peter souls.
the kenku kind of leans down and goes. And then a voice of "Me too" comes out, and he just kind of
Yeah. Hashtag hut nuts.
Yeah. Penton marks to himself, "Hey, I wonder if our house can go through dimensions," and we'll investigate that later.
You have no idea. It's like, have you ever tried to see if it can fly? For all you know, it can. But
man. Osuke is glad he's dead right now. The idea of he's been traveling in something that has the potential to pass through dimensions, and his experience with dimensions beforehand. No. He's looking back from Elysium or whatever, going, "Whew, oh, dodged a bullet there, dodged an arrow there." There you go.
She says, "This hut, if it senses danger, or if it is simply amused, it will swallow someone. And it may keep them indefinitely, it may give them to Baba Yaga, or it may simply shunt them to another dimension. And I was trying to disable it. You almost cannot kill it, but I was trying to disable it so that I might retrieve my companion."
I see. And what did your companion do to get the ire of the house on it?
He was too curious. He's like that. And you hear the voice, like it's almost like a ghost of hearing Tix talk about Osokai. Just like, you recognize that very, very clearly.
Just because of what I saw coming up here while maneuvering this Neo, whatever the hell her name is.
Neomaru.
Neomaru, yep, there we go. I'll indicate to Izzy, or to Morezi, I should say, to take my place. as the knife wielder, I guess. I mean, I'm sure she's a lot stronger than I am, so it's going to be a lot better for her to do that anyway. Because I want to go back to the bear and the scroll, and sort of bring the magic people's attention to this area.
Good idea.
Because, this seems important, and the less I have to do with it, the better. I'm not touching anything unless I absolutely have to. But somebody here does magic, and this seems magical. So when they've got time, over here when you're ready. But yeah, that's what I do now. So I've handed the reins of the holding the prisoner down to Morezi, if she just chooses to take it anyway.
Of course.
I believe you have a
She's
knife,
definitely
Marisi.
good at it.
She is very good at holding a knife to people. Is that birds? What are we hearing?
Is that Bubo from Clash of the Titans going on in the background or something?
It does sound like Bubo. Neo Manu. I like to give the worst possible names. Neo Manu. Before she starts talking, Pinson, as the Kinku has gestured and said, "Hey, magic stuff. Is there anything that you would like to do?"
Yeah, I mean, he just left it up there or brought something down. I can't recall.
I'm not touching anything, so I just
okay.
kind of like this looks magical, and I'm not. No, but
Gotcha.
you clearly know how to do this stuff and might know what this is all about. So,
just excuse me a moment. I'm gonna go see if I can figure out what was going on up to where you were here. I'll just stroll off without giving her another thought and just go up to the area that she was in.
Okay, and it's not super far away. It's like because you were rushing towards it when this all happened. It was about 50 feet away. As you saw with the Kinku, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Plus, I'm gonna have my detect magic running as well. See if there's anything residual. 17.
17. With a 17, I was. If you'd gotten a little bit higher, there was something else would have happened. But that's okay. You obviously this is completely a ritual. You can tell that this dire bear has been subdued and ritually sacrificed to empower a spell. Spells in D&D do require components. Your loving dungeon master has absolutely no interest in messing with them, so I just ignore it for the most part. But they're just kind of there in the background. It's like going to the bathroom. It happens, but we don't talk about it because I just don't want to mess with it. But for rituals and big stuff, they of course are very important. This you can tell with a 17 was part of a summoning.
Oh.
Yes. This was a summoning spell. You suspect with that beautiful scroll, the kind of thing that you would personally never use, this was the scroll that was read during the incantation.
Right.
And is now completely blank.
Like they do.
Like they do. So you know that something was summoned here and very likely then had control over it.
Okay, was there anything like drawn on the ground or anything, like a circle or diagram?
Yeah.
Or
there is a circle drawn on the ground, and you can, taking the extra time to look at that, you can tell that it is definitely a spell of summoning of Umberhulks.
Ah, okay. Well, it worked.
Umberhulks plural.
And as you think that, Tix, as you're kind of muttering this out loud, that's when y'all hear the ground begin to rumble.
Oh, boy.
And she says to all of you very calmly, "You either bring my companion out, or you all die." And the ground shakes again.
Any kind of indication as to like general like 10, 100, 50 general area?
You suspect with the 17 again. This was very important how high you rolled. But with the 17, you think probably somewhere between 3 and 5.
No more than 2. Okay.
More than 2, but less than 10. And you know, with your abilities and also what you just saw, that Umber Hulks can move through the ground. They very, very quickly.
Right.
They are creatures of the earth, not unlike a Zorn. So what exactly they're doing down there, you don't know.
Right.
So, guys, do you think that Baba Yaga would be mad at us if we just gave her a friend? I mean, yeah,
it's entirely possible she doesn't even know it's in there.
It really depends on how she chooses to interpret. She did say to keep her house safe. Now, it is true, and because y'all are thinking about this, she did not specifically say to keep all of her possessions safe, or to keep everyone that was inside her house safe, or anything like that. It was simply to keep her house safe.
Baba Yaga just hired an adventuring party full of monkey paws.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Technically,
Armor
the
lady,
house is safe, but
I think we can go and get your buddy. Can you tell us any more about him?
Yes, I can. If you would allow me, obviously I have no intention of attacking you because you would just kill me. I will cast a minor image so that you can see him.
Cool.
If that is all right.
I think that Morezi is comfortable with taking the knife away from this friend who with a weird name and
Yes.
taking a couple steps back.
the Kenku puts a palm to his face and just shakes his head.
And she lifts up one hand and makes a small gesture. It's nearly a cantrip.
Right.
And before her appears like a bust, like the head and the shoulders of a older turtle.
Oh.
And she sighs very heavily and she says, "This is Willowbog." And just like the exasperation in her voice. This is Willowbog, and he was far, far too curious. And from up just inside the house, you hear mouthful of a new plate of scones. Wow! Imagine that, says Dinwolf, who did the exact same thing. But the house swallowed him, and I had no means to get at him until Baba Yaga left.
Well, this doesn't seem too unreasonable. You may have been going a little overboard and trying to take the thing down, but I understand where you're coming from.
The house is essentially unkillable, unstoppable, and the best I could do would be to incapacitate it.
I didn't hear you say unreasonable. Did you try asking?
What, asking Baba Yaga?
Well, you have a point. So let's take a look at this situation here. I'm gonna go inside and see if I can't talk the house into releasing your friend.
Very well.
He's got a way with big huts.
I like big huts, and I cannot lie.
These other constructs can't deny.
Can we write this and perform this?
Everyone get ready. 2021, the song of the summer is going to be Big Huts.
Chafing armor players.
Baba Yaga but got back.
Baby got chicken legs.
Yeah, Baba Yaga got back.
Where's Fugly when you need him?
All right. So, up to the house I go.
Very good.
Okay. Just, go ahead.
Morezi, would you see if there's any blood left in the bear that we can give to Audrey?
Okay, do you want me to... Father! Do you want me to do a search check for that?
It's just checking the corpse.
Alright, I go and look for bear blood.
The blood is inside the bear. It has been sacrificed, and so a great deal of its blood has been bled out, because that's kind of the point of sacrificing a lot of times. But there's definitely enough that if you carry... Now, the bear is incredibly heavy. You might want, someone like Athora to assist you because it is a dire bear.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you absolutely could.
I'll poke my head out the door. Hey, Audrey. Well, go see Marezi. She's got a treat for you.
Come to me! Come to me, Giant Hat! Easier that way!
I've suddenly just got this image of Audrey with a bit of carpet hanging out the front door. She bounds up to Marezi.
We so need animators. The animators out there who are listening to this, please animate Audrey panting like a happy dog.
Perfect.
But you Athora, if you want to go there as well, and Marezi, you can absolutely lift up the dire bear to Audrey.
We feed it.
That it is glad to take it, even though it is mostly full from the human that Baba Yaga threw at it. By the way, it is a horror show inside.
SplatterCon.
I mean, most of the human was the liquids was absorbed by the hut, but there was splash damage, shall we say. It is not good. You're definitely going to want Penton to do a little bit of conjuration in there.
Yeah.
The inside of the hut has been pebble dashed.
Yes. Yeah, it looks like that pebbling roof that you see in a lot of homes. It's not pretty. But yeah, no, it is gratefully accepted, and Audrey is more fed than it has been in months, and it is so happy. You could feel it coming off in waves. Penton is so full, and in fact, it actually goes into a little bit of a dormant state. Like it kind of goes it never truly
Food coma.
sleeps. Yeah,
Thanksgiving Day.
It is so happy with both of you, Riley, Athora, and Marezi.
Maybe Audrey could talk to the big hut and tell the big hut we're all right. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but if it's going to go to sleep, too late.
Mm-hmm. It definitely kind of like powers down, as it were.
If you don't mind, sir, I'm going to power down for a while.
That's right. Y'all have seen this before. It actually digs its claws into the ground a little bit to kind of like stabilize itself, and then it sort of lowers down a little bit. And that's actually the state it was in when y'all found it originally.
Before it does that, Penton, could you get it to do that in or near where the hut is or where the house is, so that when the house takes off, we don't leave it behind again?
I'll kind of like mentally nudge Audrey to come closer to the house if she's got it in her to do so.
Okay. She doesn't particularly want to because she's sleepy, but she does it. She walks closer. She really trusts you, Penton.
Yay.
Very, very much. You could tell.
You're a proud father.
That's right. But now there is the small matter of retrieving this turtle named Willow Bog. By the way, I was making up all this stuff, but in canon in 3.5 D&D, Baba Yaga's hut is bigger on the inside and is considered extra dimensional. So we're consistent. Exactly. Baba Yaga is a Time Lord, is what I'm trying to say. So
Words and everything.
absolutely,
Yeah.
of course. So I would like y'all to tell me what you are doing and what order you're going in and what you were trying to do.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll start since that was the one I'm moving. Going back into the house, and just kind of hold fast an image of the turtle that the lady showed us, Niamanu, and kind of empathetically indicate that we need this guy back, and maybe try and point us out where this place is that he got stuck in.
Okay.
Inside the house.
Give me an Arcana roll.
Arcana roll. It's my favorite kind of sushi, the Arcana roll.
We serve a lot of it on this podcast.
21.
21. That is enough to connect with the house. As astonishing as this may sound, it's not high enough to get what you want. because the house has not connected with you yet, and it still
Right.
does not fully trust you. And the only reason it trusts you at all is because it quote unquote saw the hole in front and realized why you made it stop. You can sense this, just sort of sense. You can tell that the heart of the hut is further down in what might be a basement. You can tell that it does recognize Willowbog from your mental image, but it is not willing to help you right now, and it is somewhat indifferent to you. There's almost, you could tell, like a playfulness to the house, and it just doesn't really care and doesn't really want to help you.
Alright, I'm going to roll a search check,
Okay.
and I'm just going to do some sort of Scooby-Doo montage-esque opening and closing random doors.
Okay.
If the house will let you even open doors.
That's a 6.
Apparently not.
Okay. So
Izzy pushes on a pull door.
I rolled a couple of things. So you just start opening doors. You start looking in cabinets. You start, just moving things around. As I said before, it's kind of eerie in here, but it's not like horrifying. This is not the room of an abattoir or anything. It really is closer to the house of an old woman than a terrifying creature of fae. But nevertheless, you're going and you're opening, and then suddenly a hand slaps down on yours, Marezi. It is a human hand. A human hand slaps down on yours as you're about to open a door, and it's Dinwolf. And his other hand has a scone in it, by the way.
Oh,
But
hi.
he slaps his hand on yours, and he says, "Don't.
What, you already tried this one?
No." And he reaches into his kind of satchel that he's had, and he pulls out a small kit, and he kind of tweaks the lock a little bit. And a 3-foot-long blade just shung comes out of the door. And I mean literally the middle of the door. There was like a pattern into it that looked like old wood. And just this blade just comes out and slashes into the wall next to it. It would have been very unpleasant.
He's a terrible thief if he set that trap off.
It's true. He could have just disabled it, I suppose, or maybe he was making a point, or maybe he didn't roll high enough. You kind of wonder. You never really thought about what Dinwolf could do, but apparently that's one of them.
Besides get an orc pregnant and then leave.
Yes. Y'all still haven't had a chance to talk about that much. And he goes, please be careful. I don't want anything to happen to you.
Marisi kind of scoffs and walks away and does some more non-door opening searching.
Okay. And Athora, you find that you actually have a sense of hot and cold in here that seems to be working as like a weird radar sense for you.
Oh.
You're not quite sure what's going on because this is due. Obviously, you are resistant to fire, and also you have this newfound something going on with ice. But in this house, you actually can feel this confluence of hot and cold, of heat and fire and ice and cold, and something is drawing you towards the back of the house. Now obviously, it's not like you're being compelled, but it's like a radar sense that's pulling you back there.
I'm gonna start walking back there cautiously,
Okay.
but
Cautiously.
walking.
Very, very wise. Give me a spot check, if you would.
That's an 8.
Okay, that is not very high. So... Okay. I would like you to make a reflex saving throw, please.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
Alright. 23?
23. So you are walking, and you are you're like, I sense something. There's something back here. It's getting closer. It's getting closer. And then the floor literally opens up underneath you. And, but with your lightning fast fighter reflexes, describe to me how you would keep yourself from falling through this trapdoor.
I start to step and I feel the floor fall out from underneath me, so I jump back kind of like a cat and I use my tail for balance. And I'm shocked at myself, but pretty happy that I'm not dead.
I love the Nightcrawler aspect of using your tail for balance. That's amazing. That you balance back on it as you kind of rock back for a moment before coming forward. And the floor remains open. There was some kind of pressure sensor on there. And you can actually see down. There appears to be a, for lack of a better term, a boiler room down below.
Fun.
And there isn't it's not like there's spikes or anything below, but it would have hurt if you had fallen unassisted. But you could, lower yourself down or jump down if you so chose.
I call over, I yell, I found something, and see if anyone comes over to me.
I assume some people come over to you.
Well, I'm kind of locked in mental wits with the house right now, so I don't think I'm going to be walking around much.
Fair enough.
What?
Tick looks at the Kenku and asks if he'll watch the paladin, and then Tix walks over to Athora.
Well, it's true. Someone does need to watch her. Not that she seems to be big on getting away, but are you okay with that, Kinku?
I was about to ask what Neomanu was doing at the moment, whether she was with us or not, because I don't trust her. So I'll be watching her.
Okay, and y'all have tied her up. You specifically said that with rope, so she is tied up at the moment.
I don't think that Baba Yaga would like it if we let her into the house. I feel like that might cross a line and make it harder for us to rationalize to her us rescuing the turtle.
Tough. She's not here. Who cares?
That
That's
is
a good
true.
point.
That is true. This is don't tell mom the babysitter's dead rules. So, a fine piece of cinema. So, who would like to go through the trapdoor first, if anyone?
Tix will ask Athora to lower him down, and I'll see if I can find the turtle.
Okay.
All right.
And you can literally just grab him by the arm and lower him down if you want. You don't need rope.
I pick him up bridal style and I drop down.
Okay. I love this image. I do want you to give me one reflex saving throw if you're just going to do that, though.
Okay. Natural 20.
Natural 20. Okay, you take absolutely no damage. Cat-like grace. You land again. Your tail doing a little bit of a balancing act. And Tix, you were like, oh, she's gonna grab me by the arm and slowly lower me down, and she just scoops you up like a child and woo!
Ah!
And y'all all see her just whoom, disappear down this. I love it. I absolutely love it. If you do not have one currently, Athora, you now have an inspiration point.
I have one.
Okay, good. You only get one at a time, and again, as always, remember you can use it for anything. So you are now in a hot boiler room. It is uncomfortably warm down here. There is a large boiler that is creaking and groaning. There's a lot of firewood sitting by one side. The biggest thing you can see is there's a table off in the corner that's kind of for cooking. There's lots of cooking implements on it. And there is also lots of things hanging from the ceiling.
Don't drop the gnome.
There is actually a soup pot, a giant, right out of a cartoon soup pot.
A half shell and turtle soup?
It does not contain a turtle as far as you can see, but it is very large. It could.
Tix will do a spot check through the room, looking for doors and cages.
Okay. Give me that spot check.
That is a 6. I don't see anything in the dark.
Whoa.
6.
I'll do a spot check as well.
Okay.
That's not much better. That's an 11.
An 11? Okay. Gotcha.
I guess Tix is going to do this the hard way and walks around the room and starts rummaging and checking for doors.
Okay. There absolutely is a door in the far corner. It is just a simple. Most of these doors are just real simple wooden doors. What is your armor class, Tix?
My armor class is 18.
That is very. Let me make sure I've got that correct.
Jeez, how is it that I have a higher AC than the cleric?
Because you have that cool vow of poverty,
Right?
and he wears studded leather. So, wow, that is really really close. So, you actually spot Athora hanging from the ceiling. Are several things. One of them, there's like a hedgehog just like tied up, just like kind of dangling there, making little hedgehog noises. There's a few other animals. Some of them are dead. Some of them are alive. They're just dangling up there. And in the far corner is an entire turtle just hanging from the ceiling. He is massive, by the way. He weighs like hundreds of pounds, and he's just hanging from the ceiling. But then again, you also saw Baba Yaga pick up a human and throw it several hundred feet, so it probably wouldn't be that hard for her to do that. Not to mention all of her magic. But all of you looking at this, and perhaps you even like gesturing to Tix, distracts slightly that Tix, you did not see the figure coming out of the shadows and stabbing you in the back, which fortunately just barely failed. Your armor just absolutely saves you. Just like it bites into your armor, but like it gives you that half second to move. And this figure coming out of the shadows, you wonder if maybe there was something magical going on, Athora, because it's way too big. It is, fract, large, one might say. It is a spider-like creature. Perhaps one might say a mix of a human and a spider.
Oh.
And
Stole my character concept.
No! I stole your Drider. I need everyone to roll for initiative.
Wait, everyone?
Go ahead and have well, I just want everyone in case something changes.
Fair enough.
Yes. So
11.
11 from Athora?
Izzy.
Oh, sorry, Izzy.
Wow, you can't tell your own daughter's voice.
Well,
huh?
I was listening for Athora, so that's my excuse. Okay,
Athora, terrible father.
I got a 17.
A 13 from
17.
Izzy. It's a joke, by the way. I know that was Athora.
It was a 17,
okay.
by the way.
17 for Arkinku.
No, for Athora.
Athora 17. Oh God. Okay. I give up, guys. I give up. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
And that's the last episode of Chafing Armor.
Yeah, and we're
Good
done.
night, everybody.
We're done. I just quit now. So, Pinton, what did you get?
22.
22. Okay, that's. I actually do want to get to you first, so that's good. And Tix.
My initiative roll is a 13.
13. Tix.
The Kenku got 28.
Oh,
well.
okay.
Guess you're not getting to me first.
Yeah. So, the Kinku, you hear kind of like a scuffle going on inside. You can hear the rumbling down below. There technically isn't really much for you to do at the moment, but I just wanted to give you the option.
You know what? If they need me, they'll call.
Okay. You can hold on for the moment. Pinson, you can try to connect with this further, or you could try to do something to move closer to its heart, or whatever you would like to do.
Okay. Well, I feel like no matter where I am in the house, I'll be kind of like, I don't know if there's like a focal point, but or does it seem like there's a focal point like that I should be moving toward in the house?
Well, you remember, she told you that her daughter, you don't know if that's literal or not, stole her, method. for making this house.
Oh, so there probably is some sort of control source. Okay.
And you do also further remember that originally you could not control Audrey without touching the skull.
Okay. So I kind of sense out where the focal point of the house is and kind of move in that direction. And also I want to kind of hold like a strong, like really kind of keep alive the connection with Audrey to kind of like have like a, hey, I'm good with houses, so you can trust me too, that kind of thing, while I'm doing that.
Gotcha. And as I have established before, when you are controlling Audrey or you're doing anything like that, you cannot use your spells.
Right.
Just it is accessing the same part of your brain.
Right.
While you are doing that. It doesn't mean you can't make other actions, but you cannot cast spells while you are doing that. Just FYI. But you are absolutely doing that. Give me one more Arcana check.
Okay.
While you're heading towards that, which seems to be the basement where you're heading towards.
Okay. Well, that's better. 23? No. Yes, 23.
Okay. I'm going to put that forward. That is kind of like a win in your favor. You're still not done yet, but you are. It's like attuning yourself to a mystical object. You're moving forward in that. You open the door for the thing. Nothing snaps out at you or, poison clouds you or anything, but there is just a long stairway down into the basement.
Okay.
And that will actually bring it to the Drider. It comes out of the shadows. Its face is crazed. It is a male with a hulking body. It has a kind of a vaguely drow form, and Tix, with your dungeoneering, you remember tales of drow that have displeased the Spider Queen, being transformed into Driders, and so their life ain't great, shall we say. It rolls a 19. I believe that is going to hit. Is that correct? It is attacking you, Tix, by the way. It is actually attacking you with a dagger. And it actually, like you, gets a critical hit with that dagger. The good news is it rolled a 1. With its bonuses, that is 3, 4... So that is 8 points of damage that it has done. But that could have been a lot more because it got a critical hit. So 8 is actually pretty good for you, Tix. That was actually pretty good. And it does have a second attack. It is going to open its mouth, revealing a lot of very sharp fangs. And it is going to try to bury them into your shoulder. And DM, Dungeon Master, roll 3! Tell me how you avoid this snapping teeth from this giant Drider.
Uh-oh.
This creature is so used to attacking, human-sized things, it actually, underestimates you, and doesn't, it just misses because you're too fast for it and you're ready for it and you're used to dealing. Your people have had special training for dealing with giants and large creatures. And so you just no good, and that will actually bring it to a Thora. Thora, you've come down. You've seen this thing come out of the shadows. It has struck Tix after successfully striking him, but has not bit him. And it is your turn.
All right, I'm gonna use my sword and try and kill it.
Okay, that big old double-handed sword comes out.
24 to hit.
That will hit.
12 points of damage.
Okay. You bite right into it, and of course you have 2 attacks.
12 to hit.
That will not do it. Its hide is tough. I mean, it is chitinous would be the best way to put it, and it just ricochets off with your second attack. But you do get a good bite in at the first, and you definitely get its attention. And that will actually bring it to Tix.
Tix takes a step forward and uses his shield to block the bite and gets in under the Drider.
Its armor class for a touch attack is 11. So that works very, very well, which is significantly less than its normal armor class. Because even though it is hard in sharpness, it's really hard to miss because it's a large creature. It's the size of a troll.
Sharpness.
It's chartness. So give me that damage, please.
That is an 18.
13 points of damage. As you touch its side and just that necrotic just flows through it. Perhaps even you using your innate sense, you touch an area right near the wound that Athora had made, and it just sinks right into the flesh, and you hear this like and certain curses coming from Undercommon. And now that will bring it to Marezi. Marezi, you have been just outside. You are still above the trapdoor. And you were there with Dinwolf, and you could tell there's a battle going down below.
Let's see. I can move 30 feet with my speed. Is that enough to get up to the Drider and attack it?
It is. You will need to make a reflex saving throw to keep from taking damage when you jump down.
All right. That is 19.
That will definitely do it. So roll your first attack.
All right. What's a 29 gonna do for me?
It's definitely gonna hit. So what I would like you to do is I want you to describe to me what it looks like when you come barreling down a trapdoor from above. Come out of that and hit this Drider with your halberd. What does that look like?
That looks like about 300 pounds of meat and muscle barreling itself through a small hole, making a not insignificant dent to the wooden floor, and just sort of coming at this Drider with the pointy bit at the top of the halberd. And that will be 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. So you've already done 36 points of damage to it. And you have a second attack.
15?
15 will not hit. You just swinging back. It got stuck a little bit in that hard hide as you pulled it out. You've hurt it pretty badly though already. And that will Kinku. Are you still going to be holding steady?
Yeah. I mean,
okay. There's no reason not to. I just
exactly.
But Pinson, you're making your way down. You can see ahead there at the bottom of the basement. There is a kind of a pedestal that is not unlike the one that is in Audrey. It is far more intricate. It has got carvings and runes etched into it, and on top of it is a bowl and an egg. I'm sorry, I should say an egg in the bowl.
Right.
That is what you see.
Okay. Will I been able to approach it at this point?
Yes, I'm going to say you can approach it in this turn.
Okay. Well, I made my next Arcana check, which I assumed I was going to be doing, and that was a 26. Let's call that coming into contact with the egg, which I'm going to put my hand on.
Okay. So you touch the egg, and you immediately sense that this is the way to control the house, and that a less magical creature and someone who had not understood Audrey the way you do may have foolishly tried to break the egg. But you immediately go, oh, no. You simply put your hand on it. And with that 27, it's like the moment when Tony Stark turns on his Iron Man armor. Just like suddenly Audrey's like radar vision is nothing. You see everything around you for 100 feet. It's completely overwhelming for a moment. You can see 360 degrees. You can see in full color. You can see in infrared. You can see in full darkness. and you're pretty sure that you're seeing into some other dimensions as well. And it is utterly overwhelming, but you now have control of the house.
Okay. Hello.
Oh my god, it's Flight of the Navigator.
I mean, you're not wrong. And I'm gonna. That is your entire turn. Is just going as you deal with that. As the Drider attacks again, it is going to attack. It is going to attack all of you. It's going to attack everyone. It is in absolute rage. That is not the smart thing to do, but it is not acting rationally. First, it is going to try to stab you, Tix. It rolls a 10. Even with its bonuses, that's not going to do it. It is going to try to stab you, Athora. It rolls a 6. And it is going to try to bite you, Izzy, Merezi. 6! 6!
I just flick its forehead away.
Yes, that is exactly. You just kind of take your halberd and just go. It's like a dog trying to get a treat. That was the most pathetic round of attacks I've ever seen. It has 3 attacks. I forgot to give it 1 attack last round, but that's fine. That was pathetic. Athora, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna swing my sword at it.
Okay.
That's a 21.
That will definitely hit.
Alright. $17 points of damage.
All right. Athora, tell me how you dispatch this Drider.
After its weak and pitiful attempts at attacking us, as its back is turned trying to bite Merezi, I take my sword down and almost cut it cleanly in half, and then it pathetically dies on the floor like a spider that's just been smashed.
Its legs are going everywhere.
It's pathetic.
She puts a giant cup over it and takes it outside.
We'll watch it die over the next, 3 days.
Yeah. Well, there at the end of the day, and when you say in half, do you mean like head to toe, or do you mean side to side?
Side to side, sure.
Because head to toe. Come on.
Well, she's already cut a creature in half that way. So
yeah.
That's how she took out the Dark Paladin.
Yeah.
I believe Tix even drew a picture of it. But this is a chimera-like creature that's two halves things. You cut it right in half. Its drow form falls shuddering to the ground, and the spider form just wriggles and writhes horribly as black ichor oozes out of it as you dispatch it. And that combat is over. And from up above, you hear a voice, and it says, well, I sure do appreciate y'all dispatching that. I don't mean to intrude upon you, but could I possibly entreat upon you to release me from these bonds here?
Is he Gambit?
Is he Cajun?
This turtle is straight from the bayou.
Now I'm picturing him wearing like a long coat and has like the funky hair, and yeah. That's awesome. It's not Cable, it's Gambit.
There is no cable system. He is literally tied to the ceiling. Nice cable reference, by the way.
Thank you.
But yeah, he is literally tied to the ceiling. So
you're gonna have to get up there and cut him down.
Do you want me to jump up there and cut him down? That is a 18.
18. You have a long sword, two-handed long sword, and you are big. You leap up and there's a moment where he goes, well, now boom, and like the ground shakes because he's a huge turtle that comes crashing to the ground, and he slowly picks himself up. He's all the blood had rushed to his head a long time ago. And
he hits the ground and comes back up, taking his going, "Cowabunga, dude!"
that's right. He goes, maybe you could get my 3 brothers down too. And he bows very low to you, Athora, and he says, "I am very, very grateful for all of your help, young lady."
You're welcome.
And for you, sir, and for you, Miss Orc, I'm very grateful for all that you have done. I do not suppose I could entreat upon you your assistance to leave this establishment because it does not seem to wish to let me go.
Our friend's good with heights. It'll let you go now.
Am I getting a sense from above, or at the controls, like that the house kind of knows what's going on over there with the turtle and the whole situation down there?
When you concentrate a little bit, you suddenly get a sense, and like almost without even trying, that door, Tix, that you were investigating just creaks open, and with just the slightest, not even pressure, just like a tension towards that area, you can feel 3 traps just disable Penton.
Sweet.
That would have been in their way.
I feel like that this is the point where I pull the PA system mic down and start talking to them that way. But
I was hoping you'd say something like that.
No clear.
You probably could if you wanted to. Okay. When he comes outside and he is so, like, you can tell, like, he really wants to run through that front door, but he's also terrified of going through the front door. She told you it swallowed him. But he goes through and he sees Neomano tied up below with the Kinku with a dagger to her throat, and he says, "Well, now, what have you gotten yourself into, young woman?" And she goes, "Shut up." Kinku,
I like
would
her.
you like to say anything? Would you like to say anything?
I think the voice of a consort of the night will come out of his beak. I like this one.
And he says, the turtle says, "Well, I'm sure that she has deserved every single thing that she has done, but could I possibly entreat you to release this fine woman?"
He just kind of looks around and just puts the dagger away and walks away.
I am ever so grateful for you, and if
she's
if
still tied up.
Yeah, she is. She is trussed up. I mean, y'all did not mess around. And he comes over and he uses his natural claws and he cuts through the ropes and he goes, "How many times are we going to go through this, young lady?" And again, she just goes, "Shut up." And she stands and she looks at all of you and she gestures with her hand and the rumbling below stops. She says, "Thank you. I really don't know if I could have done that."
We're strong. That's basically it.
I shout from the inside of the house, "I told you all you had to do was ask."
Well, technically you were right. The Willowbog says in his halting voice, "If you do not mind, we would like to vacate these premises as quickly as possible."
That sounds like a very good idea for you all. Unfortunately, we still have business with Baba Yaga.
We do not want to be here. I'm very sorry to hear that. I would advise you to be very careful in your dealings with that.
I don't know. I'm starting to like her.
Um, and he pulls up Neomanu, and as he does, especially Utix recognize, he puts his hand on her, and her wounds heal
Oh,
as he whispers a slight prayer under his breath.
a fellow member of the cloth. Who is your patron?
I serve the Wild Mother.
Very well. Stay away from the scones, and peace be with you.
Well, peace be with you, of Gog Little Gold. And again, I thank you greatly for your help. We are in your debt, and I hope one day to be able to return it when we are far, far away from that cursed hut.
And with your spirit.
And they make their way away. So I'm gonna kind of like zip through this real quick instead of doing a very long part here.
Well,
go
before
ahead,
that,
please.
before that
Please.
happens, while all this is going on, the Kinku is going to slip away to Baba Yaga's potion making facilities, wherever they may be in the building.
Okay. Yeah.
To gather some poison making supplies.
Okay. And as you and I, Lee, had discussed, your character does have that ability. You have broken into some fine apothecaries in your time. You have never seen the resources that are in her hut. Baba Yaga's knowledge of herbalism is nearly unparalleled in the material plane. Every imaginable poison that you and quite a few that you do not know are in her storage.
Does she have any books that I can read to possibly learn some new things?
Absolutely, she does.
I will do that then.
Okay, well, you could certainly glance through them, but if you want to learn them, you would have to take them.
Oh, I'll take them then.
Okay.
Oh, actually,
Just one.
no. I will take the time to copy them down perfectly.
Okay. We then you start doing that immediately. You would have time to do one book before the events.
I'll
So you could
do the oldest looking archaic one that has possibly some things in it that are lost to time.
Okay. It is very old, and you definitely will need some help in translating some of it.
Okay.
But yeah, you start doing that. Does anyone? What I'm skipping to, so that we don't go on indefinitely, is that Baba Yaga is going to return soon. Does anyone else want to do anything before she does? One suggestion: you might want to move the hut away from the unstable ground.
Just move off into the pasture or someplace more stable. Maybe up on the hillside so we can get a nice view.
There we go. This is like the end scene of a video game where the credits are rolling.
Or back to where she came from.
That would also be good.
Well, the house is it does what the house does. But
Marezi attempts to find something good for her reptile Akatosh to eat, but she feels like all of the produce or meats available in the house are just a little too weird.
Well, if you do look, you do find, and with Penton in control, all of the traps are disabled right now. There absolutely is a score of mice in a cage. If you want to just grab a few for Aki.
Nice.
And Aki is very happy to have these, because the truth is, this colder area that y'all have moved to, it's not snowing right now, but there just hasn't been as much protein in your hunt, and that's been frustrating. So Aki is very happy and eating up that. So Baba Yaga returns as night falls. She comes roaring over the mountainside. Say it's been about 24 hours. You have just finished Kinku. In fact, you now have, it's really unlikely to make a difference, but you actually would technically have a point of exhaustion. Because you have just been just transcribing perfectly throughout the night, because you just don't want to stop. And just like you hear that horrifying sound of the pestle and the mortar roaring together just as you finish the last page. And she comes down, and she comes bursting through the front door, and she goes, "My precious baby, my child! What have you done with her?" "Oh, you've taken very good care of her. Thank you."
We
And-
tried. We tried.
And she comes barreling forward, and there's a moment, Penton, where you see like the tiniest snake slip from her, like, Russian woman head scarf.
Okay.
Like it kind of like a little bit as she comes barreling towards you and just squeezes you in a hug. You take 3 points of damage from the hug. Literally, like one of your ribs crack. She is so strong. Like, you've been grabbed by like Osokai before. Like, she is way stronger than him. And she just squeezes you in a hug, and like you feel one hand come down and just maybe like pinch your butt a little bit. As she says, "You have connected with my sweet child."
Yes, I have.
Y'all actually hear the rib just like.
Nope, don't like that.
She does not good at personal touch. And she goes on for a while of how wonderful it is and how hard it is to find good help. And she asks y'all, "Would you like to stay on indefinitely?"
I think we'll just excuse ourselves and go take care of our own needs.
Hospitality.
And Penson, by the way, you feel a mental shove. Like there is like it's like a mountain pushing a pebble that obviously for centuries she has controlled this house. Your tenuous connection, cannot even compare as you're just pushed aside as she takes control of the house again. But just an FYI, you do have that connection now. It's not gone. It's
tenuous
just
thread.
A tenuous thread, exactly. That just FYI. And you feel like maybe your connection with your connection with Audrey is even stronger now. That like it's open pathways in your brain connecting to this even more powerful one. You'll just have to see about that in the future. But she connects with the house, and it's almost like she's doing a diagnostic, to put it better. And she goes, "Oh, did that little spider creature get a little rowdy downstairs? That is a shame. I'm so sorry. I didn't expect you to go down there, to be perfectly honest."
Well, we heard
There was a guy who wanted to
turtle.
leave.
"Oh, my turtle soup? Oh, well, pish posh. I'm so happy about the house, I'm not going to murder all of you. But I am also a woman of my word. I promised you something."
Mhm.
And she holds out her hand, and you feel a shudder go through Audrey. And whoop, the staff of Seraphim flies into her hands.
Uh-oh.
And you know the unimaginable power in that staff as she grabs hold of it, and absolutely nothing happens.
Oh.
And she says, "There is a very good reason why the staff is not working properly," as she turns it sideways, and she looks at the staff. She looks at the half she's holding. She looks at the binding, the thread that's made from the raw essence of magic, and then the other half of the staff. And she kind of balances it on her hand and looks at it, and then she looks at you, especially you, Penton. And she goes, "It's simply because this half of the staff is fake." And that's where we'll end Chafing Armor, episode 104. Thank you for playing, everybody.
Thank you for not killing us.
You are very welcome. You are very welcome. So if you're wondering why, when the horrifying hags use the staff against you and should have utterly smited you, should have destroyed the Kraken and taken control of it. Why none of that worked? Well, now you know.
Knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe!
However, we should very much point out that the other half of the staff is still very real. So definitely touching that would be a no-no. But we'll end the episode there. That was a fantastic, fun little adventure. Y'all did a great job. From everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I feel like everybody got a real fun. Lee will have to discuss that ancient text and exactly what that'll mean for your character. That is quite a get.
Awesome.
Though you will need some help deciphering all of it. You did specifically choose the most ancient text, and you are very correct that means it likely has some very powerful knowledge in it. So we'll get to that later. Would anyone like to tell me somewhere that people can listen to Chafing Armor?
Spotify.
That's right. Go to Spotify and put in Chafing Armor. It'll come right up and say, why, yes, we would love to play some Chafing Armor for you. So we thank everyone. Yes, any podcaster of your choice virtually, if you put it in, Chafing Armor will come right up. Or you can go to the YouTubes.
Don't forget the YouTubes.
The YouTubes. And it'll be there as well.
And when all else fails, the website is there too.
That's right. ChafingArmor.com. Thank you all for playing.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
We will roll with you soon.